So now we've got a super duper clean drivetrain. Then we've taken all the oil off it, all the dirty oil, we've cleaned it, and now of course we need to put some lubricant back on so that it doesn't wear against each other as much. And we've got loads and loads of choice, from the very expensive, some of the Silca products, to what I think is like middle of the range, and I really like the Juice Lubes products, which I've referred to as part of the cleaning. So if we look at those, which is easier because we've got the kind of full array of options there. We've got from left to right, we've got the wet lube, which is great for wet weather, perhaps obviously, gives good protection, but does tend to attract more particles, more mud and grime and so on. Next to that, the white bottle with the black top is the dry lube. So that's better in winter where there's not a lot of, in summer where there's not a lot of rain, because it's easily washed off, but it doesn't attract the particles as much. So that's kind of your summer lube. So it needs replacing more. And then in the middle, there's the Viking Juice, which is kind of in between. It's sort of in between wet and dry. So I'm not sure about that, really. Not sure. Maybe it just lasts longer than the dry, but isn't as wet as the wet. No idea, really. Okay, then after that, there's the ceramic lube, which provides a bit more of a coating. And we're starting now to get to more expensive products. So you can see the first three, they're around about the same price. I think for those containers are £9.99, £10. Then it goes up not a lot because it's Juice Lubes and they're very competitive. They go up to £11-12 for the same quantity. So we've got ceramic and wax. Both provide a seal. Wax provides a better seal. It tends to some are easy to put on than others. Some you have to melt, which is a bit like that one there, the very top end stuff, Silca. Some you melt and put on it, dip your chain in, take your chain off, and you get a good seal. Some others you just put on, and the agent evaporates and leaves it to seal. So I've not used that one, so I'm not as sure. And then there's more of a wet lube type thing from Silca. They reckon it's you use much less of that, 1 drop per link. So a small bottle, again expensive, but should last a longer time. And then we've got another chain lube. Again, that's Silca. Okay, so the choice is yours. If you want a recommendation, then you could ask lots of other people, but I would go for one of the first three that you can see there. I go for either a wet lube, I go wet lube in winter, dry lube in summer, or if you're not sure, go for the Viking Juice. £10, easily portable, keep an eye on it, refresh it every time you clean it, and again, your chain should last longer. Okay, so the way you put it on is, I'll not put it on now, I will put it on in a bit. So let's say the wet link, you put it on, hold it over the, in one hand, over the link there, and then rotate the chain with that in the same position. Difficult to do again with two hands. I'll try the top one, see if I can do it better there. Yeah, so you've got it in one position while you're rotating the chain, rather than doing it like this. You can do if you want, but you tend to make more of a mess if you're doing it that way. Okay, so do that, get a point in the chain, make sure you've got it, the whole way around, and then when you're finished, just work it in that way. And I sometimes put a few drops on the cassette as well. Okay, and then you're ready to go.